so forth. Let's move on to the other topic that I had today that I wanted to share with you. And this is still around the cloud. I wanted to provide you guys some facts here. Some facts here on why cloud is a good place to go into, because there's a talent shortage going on right now. And the talent shortage is pushing AWS to go back to its roots as a developer-focused cloud provider. There's not enough people in the cloud space. Okay? A company called Stack Overflow, where they receive information on different technology roles and so forth, receives over 100 million visits per month and claims to have seen by 80% of developers every week. Additionally, the company surveys over 80,000 developers every year about the technologies they love and hate. And by running this survey for over 10 years, Stack Overflow has chronicled how developers' preferences for different cloud platforms have evolved over time, charting AWS went from a developer-loved vendor companies, okay, often used exclusively, to now battling competition from startups and big tech rivals. So the reason why so many people went to the AWS platform, for you all who are looking to get into cloud, is because it was loved by the developers. They had all the tools. They were a developer focused. If you were a developer, you liked the AWS platform because it was developer friendly. Now, as they continue to grow, the focus hasn't been just on the developer community. It has been on other things. Therefore, they're losing part of their developer community because other cloud providers are focusing on the developer community. And if a developer is like, all right, these tools aren't as simple as they used to be, I'm going to go to another platform. And that's what's happening. But as you can see, the talent shortage is pushing AWS to go back to its roots as a developer-focused cloud provider. Okay, and the talent shortage is that there's not that many people who understands the cloud or can develop on it. According to the 2022 annual Stack survey, 85,000 AWS developers want to work with Google Cloud now, while only 7,600 Google Cloud developers want to work with AWS. This suggests that AWS developer stronghold is loosening, especially as the firm also faces competition from database startups like Snowflake and Databricks that are pricking up unsatisfied customers. While AWS tries to win back its core customer base, Google Cloud is going after big enterprise clients to break profitability. The competition is fierce, guys. And let me tell you like this, there's a section in this article that talks about how you can name your salary if you're in this space. Okay? Even though the downturn has given companies a little more leverage over workers compared to last year, retaining and attracting talent remains a pivotal problem for competing cloud titans. While cloud titans AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud dominate over 60% of the market share, their growth continues to be hindered by the lack of cloud experts. Become a cloud expert, guys. Get in the cloud space and you're going to be able to crush it. You're going to be able to crush it. Make a shitload of money. Minimum is $116,000. God damn! All right. Let's talk about the layoffs now, guys. Because companies, big tech companies, have been going through layoffs. And I wanted to share this one with you. A quick synopsis of what's going on over the last couple of weeks. Let's get to it.
What goes up must come down. Tech's supercharged trajectory of growth, record stock highs, and aggressive hiring during the pandemic now in a downturn. From plummeting tech stock valuations to an accelerating wave of layoffs and hiring freezes across the industry, the belt tightening in tech is sending ripples through the public markets, which are already grappling with recession fears and ongoing global supply chain issues. Here's a quick roundup of just some of the most high-profile tech names caught up in the turbulence over the past few months. Meta has plans to slow hiring of engineers this year by at least 30% as it weeds out poor performers across.
Poor performers. You guys getting ready to get weeded out. across the board. Poor performers, you're going to be weeded out across the board. If you guys are getting those PIPs, those PIPs, professional improvement plans, you're on your way out of the door. If your projects have been cut and you're kind of left to supporting, one or two customers, you're probably on your way out of the door. If your performance reviews haven't been satisfactory over the last couple of years, more than likely, you're on your way out of the door, guys. Tech companies are tightening their belts and pushing out poor performance. Let's continue on.
Its teams, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Snap, also reportedly pausing or substantially slowing hiring and cutting back on spending.
Look at that, guys. Big time tech companies. And you know when big time tech companies do it, and this is information that's hitting the markets, you know it's coming for others. Microsoft just announced this week, which we'll get into, that they are ending contracts early. Their contracting roles are ending early. But if you see Google, Snapchat, Apple, Microsoft, all of these guys, their numbers went through the roof during the pandemic, during tech. They were paying some of the highest salaries that exist out there. You guys are seeing what you can make working for Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. There's a lot of money that can be made working for these companies. But you see they're tightening their belts and they're laying people off.
And Twitter laying off 30% of its talent acquisition team amid its own hiring freeze. In June, Elon Musk's super bad feeling about the economy led to hiring pauses and job losses at Tesla, with a little over 200 employees let go. PayPal cutting dozens of employees in an effort to reduce costs. Salesforce saying it will put recruitment on hold for certain roles, along with Spotify, who says that it's reducing hiring by 25%. 450 staffers were let go at Netflix across May and June, the company citing slower revenue growth. And just last week, Shopify laid off thousands of employees, about 10% of its staff. Investors across industries are watching all of this tech paying very closely, with many characterizing tech's performance as the canary in the coal mine for prolonged broader market mayhem, leading some to wonder if the Great Resignation is giving way to the Great Recession.
You've heard it. You've heard it, guys. You've heard it. Tech companies are going through it at this point in time, and you're going through it at this point in time as well. Many of you are going through it. And I say this. I've given advice on how to become a better performer. I've given many people advice on how to gain promotions and so forth. If you need a coaching session on how you can transition into a career or out of a career, book a coaching session at www.blkheights.com. This is just the start of it, guys. This is just the start of it. Every single week, there's people announcing what they're doing. I was just on a coaching call last week with a member of ours, and he works for a big company, Microsoft. And we already know that they've paused recruiting. Well, now, Microsoft is cutting hundreds of contractor roles amid layoffs and hiring freezes. Hundreds. And this was an article that was dropped on the 10th, 3 days ago. Hundreds of contractor roles are gone. Microsoft is laying off hundreds of contracted recruiters and talent acquisition staff as hiring freezes continue across the company, according to 3 people familiar with the situation. So Microsoft, what they're doing at this point is this. They haven't gotten to a lot of their full-time employees at all yet. They are a company that is pretty sound on their cash flow, balance sheet, and so forth. And they don't do it like a lot of these unicorn companies do, where they just go insane with hiring a whole bunch of full-time employees and so forth. What they do is they bring on contractors to do a lot of the work. And when you're a contractor, you're an at-will employee, just like even if you're a full-time worker, but they don't pay you all the extras, the incentive plans and, healthcare and all this other stuff. So you're going to be the first to go as a contractor if companies are going through a downturn. And that's what's happening here at Microsoft. They're retaining the majority of their full-time employees, but they're saying all of the folks, the vendors who are contracted with us, not all, but many of you who aren't generating revenue, you got to go. Your contractors are done. Your contracts are done. Figure it out. And I can't pay you a severance package because you're not a full-time employee, but you can get a severance package from the people who helped with the contract. And they notified their workers earlier this week in their agencies that their contracts were in as early as on Friday. So yesterday was the last day for many of the folks who were contracting in the recruiting space for Microsoft. Yesterday was their last day. And guys, this isn't the only one that's out there that's doing this. Microsoft is doing it. You heard PayPal, Salesforce, LinkedIn now. Let's talk about LinkedIn because Microsoft owns LinkedIn. LinkedIn is laying off its global events marketing team, which has been eliminated as part of restructuring. And I would tell you like this, guys, the majority of these roles that are being eliminated are non-revenue generating. That's why you guys have seen the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about sales, right? I've been talking a lot about sales because, again, I'm in a coaching calls. I want to talk to people, and many people want to be an entrepreneur one day, right? And they want to make as much money as possible to retire with a good amount of money and so forth. And I think about the career paths that I've had that's made me the most money. And I can tell you this, number one has been sales. And that's the role that I'm in today. And I'm on my entrepreneur journey, and I'm able to, make a lot of money into sales and invest in areas that allows me to grow my business. Okay? My businesses. And many of you want that as well. Or many of you just want to start your entrepreneurship journey. In a way that you can do that is by gaining sound foundational skills. And that of sales will allow for you to do such a thing. It'll give you a strong foundation. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you have to know how to sell. You have to know how to sell your vision. I have a big project going on, a personal project right now, and I have to bring somebody on board to do something for the company that I'm working for, or working with, or that I run. And I have to sell them a vision. And sales is important. So if you're looking to break into tech sales, look in the description of this video, check out Course Careers, a partner of ours, that will help you break into tech sales at its entry level, sales development rep. And many of you have taken this course already and are having success. Brother Akire, who's in the house. Brother Manny, who just completed his course and waiting his certification or his grades to see if he passed the final exam. Many of you are taking this course and learning a lot about sales. And I advise for many of you to take the course if you ever want to get into sales, or if you don't, the reason being because it gives you a good foundation of what those entry-level roles are. And if you ever want to get into sales, it will teach you the language that you should use to talk to other individuals who are in the sales, who can help you get into sales and so forth. It teaches you the basics. Just consider Course Careers. Link in the description of this video.